HOA Karen ruined public parking spot. Fined $100K in order to repair it. The air crackled with tension that humid July afternoon. The kind of day where tempers flare faster than the sun bakes asphalt. In the heart of Willow Creek, a quiet suburban town, the public parking lot by the community center was a lifeline, a shared space for families, seniors, and local shop owners. But today, it was a battleground, and Karen Mitchell, the self-appointed queen of the HOA, had just ignited a war nobody saw coming. It started innocently enough. I'm Marcus, a single dad who runs a small bakery on Main Street. That parking lot was my customer's lifeline. Every spot mattered, especially the handicap ones for folks like Mrs. Clara, a regular who relied on her wheelchair to get her cinnamon rolls. I'd seen Karen around, always strutting with her clipboard, barking orders about lawn heights or mailbox colors. She was the kind of person who'd fine you for a weed, but never mow her own grass. Still, I didn't expect her to cross this line. It began with whispers. Karen, head of the Willow Creek HOA, had been lobbying for months to beautify the parking lot. Nobody knew what that meant until last week when she unveiled her plan, a private, gated section for HOA members only, complete with fancy signage and reserved spots for her cronies. The rest of us shop owners, visitors, regular folks would be squeezed into fewer spaces. The handicapped spots, she called them, underutilized and planned to shrink them for her pet project. The community erupted in protests at the town meeting, but Karen, with her fake smile and iron will, steamrolled everyone. It's for the greater good, she'd said, flipping her hair. The mumbles grew louder when construction started. Karen hired a shady contractor, some guy named Vince who drove a pickup with no license plates. By day 2, the lot was a mess-cracked pavement, torn-up signs, and the handicapped spaces reduced to rubble. Mrs. Clara couldn't even get to my bakery anymore. She called me, voice trembling, saying she felt trapped in her own town. I tried to stay calm, but every day, I saw Karen strutting past the chaos, unbothered, sipping her iced latte. Then came the twist nobody expected. At the next town meeting, a new face showed up. Lena, a quiet woman in her 30s who'd just moved to Willow Creek. She rolled in on a wheelchair, her eyes sharp and her voice steady. "I'm a lawyer," she announced, "and I've been watching this mess unfold." She'd done her homework, digging up permits, emails, and most damning proof that Karen's contractor wasn't licensed. Worse, Karen had bypassed city regulations to fast-track her project, misusing HOA funds to pay Vince under the table. The room went silent as Lena laid out the evidence, her folder of documents thumping on the table like a gavel. Karen's face turned the color of her overpriced latte. The murmurs turned into a roar. Shop owners, parents, even some of Karen's own HOA allies started asking questions. Why was the lot destroyed? Why were the handicapped spaces targeted? Why hadn't Karen disclosed the costs? I felt my blood boil as I thought of Mrs. Clara, stuck at home, and the families who couldn't park to buy groceries. Karen tried to deflect, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but Lena wasn't having it. "You violated accessibility laws," she said, her voice cutting through Karen's excuses like a knife, "and you'll answer for it." The conflict exploded the next day when the city inspector arrived. The parking lot was a disaster zone: cracked asphalt, exposed rebar, and a handicapped ramp so mangled it was unusable. The inspector's report was brutal. Karen's project had violated half a dozen codes. The crowd gathered, phones out, filming as Karen tried to charm her way out. "It's just temporary," she insisted, but the inspector wasn't buying it. Neither was the crowd. I saw Mrs. Clara there, her wheelchair parked defiantly at the edge of the lot, her eyes blazing. "You took my freedom," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Karen flinched, but her smugness held firm until the fines came down. The city hit Karen and the HOA with a $100,000 penalty for code violations, misappropriation of funds, and accessibility breaches. The crowd gasped as the number echoed through the lot. But that wasn't all. The court ordered Karen personally to fund the repairs every cracked slab, every ruined sign, every inch of the handicapped spaces she'd destroyed. Her face crumpled, the reality sinking in. Her gated paradise was gone, and she was on the hook for a bill that would drain her savings. As the days passed, the community rallied. Lena organized a fundraiser to help cover what the HOA couldn't, but Karen was left out in the cold. Nobody wanted her at the meetings anymore. Her clipboard was a relic of a reign that had collapsed. I watched her one evening, standing alone by the lot as workers poured new concrete. The handicapped spaces were back, wider and smoother than ever, with fresh blue paint gleaming under the streetlights. Mrs. Clara rolled by, gave me a nod, and headed into my bakery for her cinnamon rolls. Karen's fall was the talk of Willow Creek. Some said she deserved worse. Others pitied her, whispering about her mounting debts. But the lot was whole again, and the community felt stronger for it. Lena, now a local hero, reminded us that one voice could change everything. As for me, I kept baking, grateful for the customers who could park again, and for the lesson we'd all learn: karma doesn't miss, especially when you mess with the town's heart. What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved? Or was the punishment too harsh? Share your thoughts below.